Hey there, it's Coach Ivy. Welcome back to Treadmill Trivia. I hope you're ready because today we're mixing a serious sweat with 30 rounds of brain-boosting fun. We'll be tackling everything from famous mysteries and outlaw legends to Hollywood surprises. Everyday sayings you never really thought about, and wild facts you'll want to tell your friends later. My job? To keep your mind sharp and your body moving, so don't slow down on me. This isn't your average trivia night. It's fast, it's fun, and it'll push both your pace and your brain power. All right, lace up, breathe steady, and let's do this together. Episode 2 of Treadmill Trivia starts right now. Round 1, Pop Culture. Which comedian nearly played the role of George Costanza on Seinfeld before Jason Alexander was cast? A. Chris Rock, B. Danny DeVito, C. Steve Buscemi, D. Paul Schaefer. Here's a hint. Before Jason Alexander, the producers considered a bald band leader you've definitely seen on late night TV. The answer is D, Paul Schaefer. Schaefer was best known as David Letterman's longtime bandleader and sidekick. The character of George was inspired directly by Seinfeld co-creator Larry David. Schaefer has joked for decades about missing out on becoming part of one of the biggest sitcoms ever. Round 2, Famous Mysteries. Question, which band leader disappeared in 1944 while flying over the English Channel? A. Glenn Miller, B. Benny Goodman, C. Artie Shaw, D. Tommy Dorsey. Your hint, he was one of the biggest swing stars of his time, with hits that still play today. The correct answer is A. Glenn Miller. Here's some fun facts. Glenn Miller vanished during a military flight in 1944. His plane was never found. Miller was only 40 when he disappeared, leaving behind a massive musical legacy. And finally, a mystery. Some believe his plane crashed due to bad weather. Others suspect friendly fire. Round 3, Pop Culture question. Country music star Randy Travis appeared in which 1997 courtroom drama as a silent juror? A. A Few Good Men, B. The Rainmaker, C. Runaway Jury, D. Primal Fear. Here's your clue. This was Francis Ford Coppola's legal drama, starring Matt Damon as a young lawyer. The correct answer is B, The Rainmaker. All right, let's check out some fun facts. Randy Travis appeared as a juror in Coppola's The Rainmaker, but he never said a word. The movie was adapted from John Grisham's best-selling book, and Matt Damon took on the role of underdog lawyer Rudy Baylor. Round 4, Sayings. Let's see if you know this one. Question, what does the phrase crocodile tears really mean? A, genuine sorrow, B, fake sadness, C, happiness, D, indifference. Here comes your hint. It's all about showing emotions that aren't real. The correct answer is B, fake sadness. Now for some fun facts. The phrase goes back hundreds of years describing false grief. It came from the old myth that crocodiles cry while eating their prey, and even Shakespeare used it in Othello. Round 5, Health and Mind. Here's your question. What is the Dunning-Kruger effect? A, overestimating one's knowledge. B, fear of failure. C, underestimating intelligence. D, remembering false events. Your hint: it's the classic case of someone who doesn't know what they don't know. The answer is A, overestimating one's knowledge. Here are some fun facts about the Dunning-Kruger effect. The flip side is called imposter syndrome, when skilled people doubt themselves. It's considered one of psychology's most famous and fascinating cognitive biases. The effect was first described in a groundbreaking 1999 psychology study. Round 6, famous quotes. Here's your question. Who said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself"? A, Winston Churchill, B, Franklin D. Roosevelt, C, John F. Kennedy, D, Harry Truman. Your hint: this president said it in his first inaugural speech during America's darkest economic time. The answer is B, Franklin D. Roosevelt. And now, some fun facts. Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered the famous line in 1933 during his very first inaugural address. He remains the only U.S. president to serve 4 full terms in office. That powerful quote was meant to calm a nation gripped by fear during the Great Depression. Round 7, history, mob style. Here's one for the crime buffs. In 1929, which mob boss was behind the infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre, the brutal hit that left 7 rival gang members dead in Chicago? A, Lucky Luciano, B, Al Capone, C, Bugsy Siegel, D, Meyer Lansky. Think of the mobster who turned bootlegging into an empire and left his rivals gunned down in a garage on Valentine's Day. The answer is B, Al Capone. Now let's dig into some fun facts about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Despite his empire, Al Capone was finally jailed for tax evasion, not for murder. The IRS did what bullets couldn't. They ended his reign of terror. The massacre took place on Valentine's Day, 1929, when 7 of Bugs Moran's men were lined up against a wall and gunned down. The public was horrified, and the violence fueled demands to finally end Prohibition. Round 8, pop culture trivia. Here's your question. Which actor almost played Indiana Jones before Harrison Ford? A, Tom Selleck, B, Kurt Russell, C, Richard Dreyfuss, D, Mel Gibson. Here's your clue. Picture palm trees, a red Ferrari, and 2 loyal friends named Rick and TC. This actor almost wore the fedora instead of Harrison Ford. The answer is A, Tom Selleck. Let's dive into some fun facts about this casting twist. Tom Selleck was originally cast as Indiana Jones, but he had to turn it down because of his Magnum PI contract. CBS refused to release him from the schedule, even though Magnum was actually delayed. In the end, the role went to Harrison Ford, launching one of the most iconic franchises in movie history. Round 9, true crime. Here's a chilling one. Question: which serial killer infamously taunted police and newspapers with coded letters during the late 1960s? A, the Zodiac Killer, B, Ted Bundy, C, John Wayne Gacy, D, David Berkowitz. This killer turned his crimes into a twisted puzzle, daring the world to solve it. The answer is A, the Zodiac Killer. All right, let's dig into some chilling fun facts about the Zodiac Killer. His first confirmed attack happened on December 20th, 1968, when 2 teenagers were killed. Police linked him to 5 murders, though he boasted in letters that he'd taken dozens more lives. Despite thousands of tips and decades of investigation, the Zodiac was never unmasked. His true identity remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American crime. Round 10, sports. Question: which NFL Hall of Famer, nicknamed the Tyler Rose, dominated as a power running back for the Houston Oilers? A. Earl Campbell, B. Walter Payton, C. Tony Dorsett, D. Eric Dickerson. Here comes your clue. This guy didn't just run, he steamrolled through entire defenses. The answer is A. Earl Campbell. Let's check out some fun facts. From 1978 to 1980, Campbell averaged over 110 rushing yards per game, the best in the league during that stretch. In 1980, he piled up 1,934 rushing yards in just 16 games, nearly cracking the 2,000-yard mark in the old schedule. Before dominating the NFL, Campbell made history at Texas as the first Longhorn to ever win the Heisman Trophy. I misspoke. In 1980, he piled up 1,934 rushing yards in just 15 games, not 16. Round 11, music legends. Question: which pop star discovered in his early 30s that the woman he thought was his sister was actually his mother? A. Bobby Darin, B. Little Anthony, C. Dion, D. Frankie Avalon. Here's your hint. Famous for his hits and smooth style, he also had one of the most shocking personal revelations in music history. The answer is D. Bobby Darin. Let's dive into some fascinating facts. As a child, rheumatic fever damaged his heart so badly that doctors said he wouldn't make it past his teens. This swinging track earned him a Grammy and showed his unmatched versatility. In December 1973, Darin entered Cedars-Sinai for valve replacement surgery, but he never made it off the table, ending his story far too soon. Round 12, songs Who Dat? Question: there's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold. A. Imagine, John Lennon. B. Hotel California, Eagles. C. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. D. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Clue: the song opens with an acoustic melody, then builds to a soaring guitar finale, a masterpiece of 70s rock. The answer is D. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Let's get to the fun facts. Stairway to Heaven became a defining anthem for both Led Zeppelin and classic rock as a whole. Its poetic, mystical lyrics have fueled decades of debate and endless interpretation. Rolling Stone and other major polls consistently rank it among the greatest rock songs ever recorded. Round 13, famous mysteries. Question: in 2007, 3-year-old Madeline vanished from a resort in Portugal. What was her last name? A. Thompson, B. McCann, C. Harding, D. Collins. Clue: millions followed every twist of this case, and yet the mystery has never been solved. The answer is B. McCann. The McCanns were dining just steps away, checking on their children throughout the night. But when they returned around 10 p.m., Madeline was gone. There were alleged sightings in Morocco, Spain, and even South America. Each one sparked hope, but every lead eventually fizzled out. Years later, investigators focused on a German man with a criminal past. He was named the prime suspect, though no charges have ever been proven. Round 14, health and mind question. Which rare condition has been used as a defense in trials where someone claims they were sleepwalking during the crime? A, narcolepsy, B, dissociative fugue, C, somnambulism, D, night terrors. Clue: one Canadian man drove 14 miles while asleep and killed his in-laws. The answer is somnambulism. Here are the fun facts. Parks drove 14 miles while sleepwalking, killed his mother-in-law, and injured his father-in-law. A jury found him not guilty due to automatism, unconscious actions. Believe it or not, there are documented cases where defendants claim they killed while sleepwalking, and some were even acquitted. Today, experts analyze sleep patterns and brain activity to help determine if someone truly acted without awareness. Round 15, music legends. Question: which boxer's wrongful conviction inspired Bob Dylan's 1975 protest song Hurricane? A, Joe Frazier, B, Reuben Carter, C, Muhammad Ali, D, George Foreman. Clue: Dylan sang about a man imprisoned for a triple murder he didn't commit. The answer is Reuben Hurricane Carter. Fun facts. The story of Hurricane Carter has been retold many times, cementing his fight for justice in popular culture. Reuben Carter earned the nickname for his fast, aggressive boxing style, later immortalized in Dylan's lyrics. Bob Dylan didn't just sing about injustice, he backed Carter's freedom fight, donating royalties from the song. Round 16, question. Which musician made a brief appearance as J.D. Eddie's father in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels 1998? A, Paul McCartney, B, Sting, C, David Bowie, D, Elton John. Clue: best known as frontman of The Police with hits like Every Breath You Take. The answer is Sting. Fun facts: Guy Ritchie's low-budget debut became a surprise hit, earning over 28 million pounds worldwide. He discovered Jason Statham selling jewelry on London streets, leading to his breakout role. Madonna's company helped fund the film, though their romance began later. Round 17, sayings. What does the phrase "break the ice" mean? To destroy something frozen, to start a conversation or ease tension, to cancel plans, to work very hard. Your hint: it's about making people feel more comfortable in awkward moments. The answer is B. Fun facts: the phrase comes from ships literally breaking through ice to reach port and begin trade. Sir Thomas North first used it metaphorically in 1579 to describe overcoming initial awkwardness. Today, it's one of the most common phrases for starting conversations, though few know its nautical origins. Round 18, sports question. At what age did Annalie Waters become the youngest professional pickleball player in history? A, 10 years old, B, 12 years old, C, 15 years old, D, 17 years old. Your clue: She was still in middle school when she started earning prize money. The answer is 12 years old. Fun facts. Anna Lee first picked up pickleball in Pennsylvania, where her grandfather taught her the game. By 18, she held the top spot in all 3 major divisions, a rare triple crown. Within months of learning, she was already beating adults and winning tournaments. Round 19, famous quotes. Question: which famous leader supposedly said, "Let them eat cake," when told the peasants had no bread, though historians now believe this quote was completely fabricated? A. Catherine the Great, B. Marie Antoinette, C. Empress Josephine, or D. Queen Victoria? Clue: this queen lost her head but probably never said these words. The answer is Marie Antoinette. Fun facts. The quote first appeared 50 years before Marie Antoinette was even born. Historical records show Marie Antoinette was actually generous to the poor. Despite being historically debunked, the myth persists in modern pop culture. Round 20, songs. Which 1980 song includes the famous line reminding us that life can unfold while we're busy making other plans? A. Imagine, John Lennon. B. Beautiful Boy, Darling Boy, John Lennon. C. Let It Be, The Beatles. Or D. Hey Jude, The Beatles. Clue: John Lennon composed this lullaby as a heartfelt message to his young son. The answer is Beautiful Boy, John Lennon. Key facts. It was released on Lennon's 1980 album Double Fantasy. The lyric has been widely quoted, reminding people to stay present in life's moments. Just weeks after the album's release, John Lennon was shot. Round 21. Question: what famous pop singer had a cameo as a hot dog vendor in the 1980 comedy Airplane? A. Michael Jackson, B. Elton John, C. Paul McCartney, or D. Frankie Valli? Clue: he was the lead singer for the Four Seasons. The answer is Frankie Valli. Fun facts. Valli's cameo in Airplane wasn't his only acting role. He also popped up in Miami Vice and The Sopranos. That soaring falsetto became the Four Seasons trademark and helped define a pop era. The hit musical Jersey Boys chronicled their rise, later adapted into a Clint Eastwood film. Round 22, famous mysteries. In 1959, 9 experienced Russian hikers died mysteriously in the Ural Mountains. What is this chilling case called? A. The Siberian Tragedy. B. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. C. The Ural Mystery. Or D. The Cold Mountain Murders. Clue: experienced hikers, extreme cold, strange injuries, and no one knows what, really. The answer is B. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. Interesting facts. Radiation traces led to wild theories ranging from secret military experiments to paranormal explanations. The tent was slashed from within, suggesting they fled in terror. The Dyatlov Pass incident has theories for decades, from avalanches to UFOs. Round 23. Question: recent research shows that with enough exercise begun by middle age, you can actually reverse the age of which organ? A. Brain, B. Lungs, C. Heart, or D. Liver? Clue. This vital organ can lose its springiness with age, but it's never too late to help it bounce back. The answer is the heart. Fun facts. A study found that 2 years of exercise helped 50-year-olds reverse heart aging by about 20 years. Exercise preserves heart elasticity, especially if started in late middle age, while the heart still retains its ability to remodel. In just months of training, participants increased their VO2 max by nearly 18%, improving heart efficiency and fitness. Round 24. Question: which legendary guitarist famously set his instrument on fire during a live performance at the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival? Was it A, Eric Clapton, B, Pete Townsend, C, Jimi Hendrix, or D, Carlos Santana? Hint: this icon turned a guitar into both music and spectacle. The answer is Jimi Hendrix. Fun facts. Though already big in the UK, Monterey cemented Hendrix as a US superstar. Hendrix doused his guitar in lighter fluid before setting it ablaze. The scorched Fender Stratocaster later sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Round 25. Question: which legendary outlaw met his end in 1882 when he was shot in the back of the head by a member of his own gang? Was it A, Jesse James, B, Billy the Kid, C, Butch Cassidy, or D, Bill Hickok? Clue: this outlaw was betrayed in his own living room. The answer is Jesse James. Fun facts. The detail of him adjusting a frame adds eerie drama to the scene. The Ford brothers secretly made a deal with authorities, trading their leader's life for money and fame. The notorious outlaw had been hiding in plain sight as Tom Howard, a quiet family man in St. Joseph, Missouri. Round 26. Question: Bonnie and Clyde were killed in which U.S. state? A, Texas, B, Louisiana, C, Oklahoma, D, Arkansas. Clue: the law caught up with them in a southern state known for its bayous. The answer is Louisiana. Fun facts. Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed and killed on May 23, 1934. They were gunned down while sitting in a stolen Ford V8. Their story became a symbol of the Depression-era outlaw. Round 27. Question: which Hall of Fame goalie won 6 Stanley Cups in 8 seasons, then shocked fans by walking away in his prime? Was it A, Bernie Parent, B, Ken Dryden, C, Vladislav Tretiak, or D, Tony Esposito? Clue: he stunned the hockey world by trading pads for politics and law. The answer is Ken Dryden. Fun facts. Even during his reign with the Canadiens, Dryden was studying law. In his very first NHL season, he led Montreal to the Stanley Cup. His book, The Game, is widely regarded as the greatest hockey memoir ever written. Round 28. Question: you can travel on 10,000 miles and still stay where you are? A, Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. B, Bob Dylan, Blowin' in the Wind. C, Jim Croce, Time in a Bottle. D, Harry Chapin, WOLD. Clue: he was known for songs that felt like short stories. The answer is Harry Chapin. Fun facts. The song came out in 1973 and became a modest hit, landing in the US Top 40. In 1981, Chapin died in a car crash, shocking fans and leaving a legacy of music and humanitarian work. Beyond music, he spent decades campaigning to end hunger. Round 29. Question. In the original Magnum PI, what unusual item did Thomas Magnum keep in the refrigerator at all times? Choices: A. Beer, B. Milk, C. A bottle of champagne, D. A gun. Clue. It was his little luxury while living at Robin's Nest. The answer is champagne. Fun facts. The champagne was Selleck's idea. At 6'4", Selleck barely fit in the Ferrari 308 GTS. The seat was modified. Higgins' dogs had stunt doubles. You made it all the way to the last round. Let's finish in style. Round 30, question. What unusual evidence helped solve the 1980s Night Stalker case that terrorized California? A. A unique shoe print. B. DNA from a cigarette. C. A distinctive tattoo. Or D. Security camera footage. Your hint. He was so proud of something he wore that he kept using it over and over. The answer is a unique shoe print. Here are the fun facts. Only 1,356 pairs of this specific model were distributed in Los Angeles, giving investigators a manageable suspect pool. The killer was obsessed with his sneakers, never realizing he was leaving a perfect calling card. Investigators found the exact store where the shoes were purchased and traced the credit card used, leading directly to Ramirez. And that's a wrap. You just powered through all 30 rounds of episode 2, Brains and Brawn in Perfect Sync. Want to keep going? You can extend this base episode with one of our 5 or 10 round add-on stacks to boost your time and challenge your brain even more. Keep your heart pumping and your mind sharp, and make sure to subscribe so you can join me for more quizzes and costume changes. Great work today. This is Coach Ivy saying, stay moving, stay thinking, and I'll see you next time.